What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick from MWK Pop, and this is gonna be my KCon LA 2015 recap video. Now, I didn't vlog it like I said I was going to, just because I was so wrapped up in the entire event and I had myself busy from the moment that I got there to when I left, just straight through, that the camera was not specifically, it wasn't a thought that I had. So instead, we're going to be making this video. We're going to talk about the panels, the people that I met and saw, and all of that stuff. And of course, we're also going to talk about some of my favorite parts of the concert. So first off, of course, we're going to talk about some panels. And naturally, I went to every single YouTube panel that there was. And it was just, I just went there to be there, not because, specifically I learned anything or got any further inspiration from them, but I just went to be there. The two panels that I went to that had the, biggest impact on me as far as, what my channel is going to be doing over the next year, which we'll talk about all of that in a separate video, because it's going to be a much, much longer channel update video that I'll be recording immediately after this one. But I went to a Korean indie panel where they talked about Korean indie music, which that's something that I want to cover and talk about and stuff, and a K-pop journalism, panel as well, which is another thing that I would like to start to get into. And from that, going to those and hearing the panelists talk about this stuff, and then hearing some people ask questions themselves about all of that, it's really given me the motivation and idea for some things that I'm going to work towards for to have achieved or be really close to achieving by next year's KCon. So the panels and stuff like that, whereas a lot of you guys and stuff as fans go to these just for the whole entertainment factor, I went to a couple of them more as, to learn something, basically, to learn and get ideas and have some influence and inspiration. And two of those panels did. I went to, Sunny's channel. She's a makeup artist on YouTube, or makeup tutorialist or whatever on YouTube. I went to her workshop just because for some reason that sort of stuff is something that's, something that's caught my interest recently. Just last night, I think I ended up watching watching those tutorials and stuff like that, videos of people just doing makeup on video for maybe at least an hour and a half. And I was like, I should have gone to sleep like an hour ago. And I just went and I just watched a bunch of them, and I don't know why that's a thing, but I'm really, really into it. So the panels were fantastic. They are going to be basically the start and motivation to a lot of changes for my channel. But those are one source of motivation and inspiration. But another thing is the fans, the people that I met, the people that said hi to me. It was fantastic. Every single person that came up to me and asked me, "Are you MWK Pop? Or you make videos on YouTube, right?" and all that stuff, and then said hi to me. It was fantastic. From the girl who was pretty much too shy to even really look at me, to the girl who was messaging me on KakaoTalk saying that she was, gonna find me, that she had seen me a trillion times the day before that, but just didn't say anything, who came up to me as I was standing by myself, as I was most of the convention, said hi, gave me a hug, took a picture with me, that sort of stuff. From someone who is so shy that they won't look at me or talk to me, to somebody who, is, still shy and all that stuff, but still came out and, interacted with me a little bit. That was awesome. Everyone in between those two spectrums, from the most reserved person to the most outgoing person that I met as a fan, it was fantastic. And, I went there and I was not really expecting as many people to come and say that they knew who I was. So it was really, really awesome to actually get to see that every single day that I was there was at least, 3 or 4 people that said, they know who I am and that they like my videos. And that was really awesome. The biggest person, I guess you can say, to recognize me from my videos is Saturday morning. I was walking into the convention, and this guy who was walking next to me was like, "Hey, you make videos, right?" And basically I was like, "Yeah, and he basically said, I work for CJ E&M, and I, basically recognize you from your videos. He said that you were going to be here." And I was just like, "What? A guy from CJ E&M who works for that company has watched some of my videos at some time in the past, some point in the, very recent, very recently, because he was saying that he had seen some of my videos where I said I was going to be at KCon. So that was basically any of my sort of like KCon update videos. But I was like, that's crazy. Some guy who works for like literally the biggest company that is involved in K-pop, or just, Korean media in general, knows who I am because he's watched some of my videos. And that was crazy. I should have talked to him a little bit more, at least gotten his name or something like that. But I was just so shocked that I didn't even think to stop and talk to him anymore, or to talk to him anymore, other than like, wow, that's really awesome. You work for CJENM and you watch my videos. I was just blown away. But what also was really awesome, or really nice too, is I met a bunch of other, YouTubers, sort of. I was off doing my own thing because that's kind of why I was there, and that's what I tend to do. I like to be on my own. But, got to shake hands with Dre. He said, "What's up?" And we, he really was not able to talk a whole lot because, of course, people were like, "Oh my God, it's Dre!" every single time that he was out and about. But there was a couple minutes where we just got to have a casual conversation about, YouTube sort of stuff, which was really, really awesome. And, I wish that, we'd been able, or the two of us had been able to, just go out and talk just casually as, people who are, who have a similar interest, to just casually talk about YouTube or whatever sort of stuff. It would have been really awesome to do that, but he did not have the time, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it was really, really awesome. The entire, between, my fans being definitely the number one source of motivation for me to keep going and making these videos and evolving my channel and going towards in the direction that I want to go towards. It's going to be, this next year, I think, is going to be a very, very exciting year for both me and you. So if you want to find out all about what I'm trying to do, where I'm going, watch this video that's going to be coming up after this one, and I will talk all about it. So that was the convention, the people that I met and saw and talked to and interacted with. Now we got to talk about the concert, and I just want to talk about basically 3 performances because I don't have much more time before I'm going to end this video. So number one, basically what probably was the number one reason why I would have gone to KCon is Roy Kim. And Roy Kim was there, and I don't think that he was particularly expecting to have, quite a fit, be so well supported and have people into him as much as they were at the concert. I know that he said a couple of times that he was, really surprised, and he was like, I know that I'm not really quite a fit with all the rest of these K-pop groups, but here I am, and enjoy my music and support me well. And I did my best to support him, man. I sang like all of the songs that I possibly could that he performed. And he was just amazing. He just went out to that stage in Staples Center with nothing but his voice and an acoustic guitar, and he carried the entire arena. Like he was definitely one of the more, alive and, big performances of the entire concert. It was absolutely fantastic. That guy is amazing, right? So we got Roy Kim. Second up, we've got to talk about Red Velvet, because if Roy Kim wasn't there, Red Velvet would have been, again, the group that had drawn me. So these guys performed on 2 separate nights. So Saturday was all about Roy Kim. Sunday for me was all about Red Velvet. And like, Red Velvet, just like Roy Kim, sort of, I don't think Red Velvet was really expecting to have the fan support that they did at the show. I know that in interviews and stuff like that, they were pretty surprised by, meeting or having, fans greet them at the airport and stuff like that. And I could really tell that outside of their performance, when they were doing their, after their concert, goodbye, and, they walked around the stage and waved goodbye and all that stuff to everybody, that they were just really, really having a lot of fun and just really, really enjoying the energy and the support that they were getting from their fans. And for me, I was there, like, Red Velvet is really good. I was expecting that it was, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting that it was going to have quite an emotional impact on me. And indeed it did. I spent the entire time that they were performing with my hand over my mouth, basically like, don't you dare cry too hard, Nick. Don't even do it. And I managed to keep most of my tears in my eyes, which then they turned into snot, which just filled my nose. And it was, I kept it together more or less, through their opening song. Then they performed something kind of crazy, which I was like, I love that song. It's so good. A cover song, which I wasn't familiar with, and I know what it is because I saw, all of that later, but I have forgotten at this moment in time. They did that, and I believe they ended with Happiness. And Happiness, it was, I've been saying the entire weekend and the lead up into this, that Happiness was going to be the song that if I managed to keep it together while Red Velvet was performing, that was going to be the song that killed me. And it definitely was. So they started performing it, and I was like, there's a couple more tears coming out of my eyes right here. This is amazing. And then, Wendy and her, vocal solo, whatever, just killed me. I was done. That was it. I was finished, KO'd for Sunday, and it was just, Red Velvet was amazing. They absolutely killed it. But the group that killed it the most, of course, as anybody who was there will definitely say, was Super Junior. Those guys, they just went out. They're like, we're 10-year veterans. We're just going to throw down and perform. We don't even give a shit about any of this stuff. We're just going to go and perform. Right. Whereas every other group that went out and performed, they basically stuck to the script that they had, written and laid out for the show. Every single talking part that they had in their performance was all pre-scripted, right? Which is crazy. I mean, like, they had teleprompters and stuff like that at the ends of the stage where they were facing the talk at, and it was crazy. Super Junior, on the other hand, as well as Shinhwa, just went out and they did their thing. We're like, we're veterans. We know what we're doing. We know how to put on a show. We're just going to put on a show. And, Super Junior went out, they introduced themselves, and then they could have probably talked for the entire night, just having fun, joking around, just being silly and goofy and stuff like that on stage like that. It was amazing. They literally, I think that if the producer or whoever the guy was that's in charge of running the whole M Countdown show hadn't been telling them, like, you guys need to shut up with your talking, stop talking, and get on with your performance because we've got a show that we're filming, they could have talked all night, and they definitely would have talked all night and just, been the whoever it is, just, their natural personalities and stuff like that on stage. And God, Super Junior was definitely the most real group that took the stage over the 2 nights. And I love that because, K-pop is really, really fake. Like, you can't, if you say that anything about K-pop is real, then I don't know what to say about that, but you might need some help. But Super Junior, of every single group that was on there, they were genuinely, like, from the start of when they took the stage to when they left, they were the most genuine performers on that stage. And I really, really appreciated that. And that definitely made their entire performance much, 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 much better. And, I have to say, Shinhwa was the same way, but Shinhwa was much more professional about doing their show as well. They went out, they had some fun, they joked around for their talking bit, but they kept it, together. They didn't get carried away with it. They performed their songs, the way that they were meant to. They stuck to their script a bit more, but they still, had, the 17 years that they've been making music, that they've been performing. So they had the ability to just go a little bit freeform with all that stuff, and they took advantage of that. So both of those two groups, just, using their veteran status to their advantage to just basically be the most real groups on stage between the 2 nights was absolutely fantastic. And I really wish that we saw more of that in K-pop. So there you go. That is my basically my KCon experience. It was fantastic. And just like 2014, 2015 was a, life-changing, I guess you can say, experience for mostly my YouTube channel. Who knows what 2016 is going to have in store for me. It's going to be amazing, though. I know that for a fact. So that is it. That's all that I have really got. If you have any other questions about stuff and things, put them down in the comments. I will answer them for sure. So that is really all that I've got. And thank you for watching. And I guess maybe possibly I'll see you at next year's KCon in LA. So until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.